Welcome back to the BVarsity Coaches Super Show. We are rolling along in day 2 here. Trevor Horn, Zach Ewing, and we are joined on the phone now by Taft coach George Falgout. George, how are you today?
I'm doing pretty good, man. How about yourself?
Not too bad, not too bad. And it's year 2 for you out at Taft, and that's always a comforting feeling for a coach, I think, knowing that you don't have to get to know everybody and get to know what classroom you're teaching in and what field is open when and what key unlocks what gate and all that sort of stuff. How much more comfortable are you in your second year there at Taft?
There's always a lot of work that has to be done every single year. So, me personally, I don't think there's the comfortableness never settles in, because you're always working, you're always trying to get your program going in the right direction no matter what. As far as our program out here at Taft, we graduated 24 seniors, so I have 15 kids returning from that varsity squad. So there's a lot of work. Our JV program was successful, so but still there is a lot of work that needs to be done.
Yeah, absolutely, and there always is. And I know one big job you've got is replacing Josh Saylor, who was your all-area back last year, 1,881 yards, 8.8 yards per carry, 17 touchdowns. I mean, we can go down the list. The nice thing there is that you have Robert Cozine, who was kind of his co-starter last year back, and he averaged 8 yards a carry also. So I imagine he's probably going to be kind of the bell cow this year. Is that right?
Yeah. Robert's going to be our guy in the backfield and, doing his thing. Of course, he has some shoes to fill, with Josh leaving. But he's been working hard, man. He's working hard in the weight room. Robert has been doing good in the summertime. He's been doing good in the 7-on-7 stuff, and so it's been good, in the summer for him to get him prepared for this upcoming season.
George, this is Trevor. For you, when you take over at a program like Taft, where the high school kind of takes center stage in that town, how have you kind of bought in, and what have you kind of really kind of learned about the community of Taft and Taft High School now that you've been there a little bit over a year now?
What I've learned, man, is how this community takes pride in the town, in their town. They love the game of football, and they embrace it, and you hear the stories of how they are a football town, and when you're living it, it's an eye opener of how they treat you in a way of respect, and how the hospitality is, and how they stand behind their boys and girl athletes in this town, man. It's an awesome place to be. And when I say that, I'm not just saying that just because. I'm saying that because that's how these people are. They're awesome folks that support their kids in the town.
Yeah, and Taft's one of our favorite places to go watch a game too. We see that passion every Friday night that we're out there. Coach, we talked about offense a little bit. On defense, you lose almost just as productive of a guy as Josh Saylor in Jordan Lopez. I mean, that guy had more than 15% of your tackles last year. He was all over the place. I'm guessing it's not going to be one guy, but how do you sort of replace that production?
What we've done is we worked hard. Coach Emerson, who's my D coordinator, has worked hard in putting things together, in supporting that spot that has been vacant. We just recently, well, not recently, but we moved Cameron Ginn, who was our defensive end last year, to middle backer, and he played a little backer the year before. And so he's familiar with that area, playing in that spot. And then, of course, the secondary that we have, it's a fast secondary that can come up and also bring a hit. So, losing Jordan is huge, man. But we do have the athletes here at Taft to make up for that loss in the other positions.
I think maybe you surprised some people, George, and you probably didn't surprise very many people in your own locker room. But to go in as a first-year coach, and at one point you were 8-1 last year. I mean, you lost the last couple of games, including the 1-point game in the playoffs that I'm sure still sticks with a lot of those guys. But you've got a lot to build on. Do you sense a different attitude in some of the guys who came back? Like we expect to win now, and we think we can go even further.
That's the funny thing. There is no. The expecting, to win thing is these guys. They just want to work hard, man.
Mm-hmm.
They want to top what was given last year, and I told them the only way that you can do that is by working hard, putting in more work than what was put in, and these young men that I have this year have totally stepped up to the plate and doing the things that they need to do. And working hard and working towards that direction. So these kids, they embrace the extra that is being put at them, and again, they stepped up to a lot of challenges because the summer workouts have been hard, just as well as our starting our season practice have been hard. We've done a lot of conditioning, a lot of stuff in the weight room, so. That's what I'm talking about as far as moving in that direction and bettering what was applied from last season.
With so many seniors graduating, George, you always talk about there's a chance for a guy to become the next big guy at Taft. Can you pinpoint a couple guys that may not be well known now that are going to be household names come November?
Yeah, we got replacing Tevin Howe from last year. We got Cody McCaleb at quarterback. He also is one of our starting corners, defensive back. That's where he played last year, and he was Tevin's backup. He has came in and taken a big role in our offense. Taking control. Directing traffic and all that. He has definitely stepped up, and he's doing some good things in the off season. And as far as what we're doing now in preparation. Also, too, we have Holden Williams, who is our left tackle, and plays defensive tackle for us. He's going to be a force to be reckoned with. He's a big kid, and he packs a punch, and he's, like I said, he's going to do good things for us. And then also, too, Cameron Ginn, he's our returning tight end, also played DM, but we moved him to inside backer, and when we saw the last week the way he was flying around to the ball, he's another kid that I think is going to open up some eyes in our league and surprise some folks. And then we also have another back addition to our backfield, Setafana Maui, who we brought up from our JV program, who's a hard runner, hard-nosed kid, and is not afraid to lower the shoulders and bow the neck and get those yards that we need, So, and then also, too, we have another fast kid in our backfield named Daniel Cortez. He was out last year from a previous injury that he had, but he's back this year, and the kid's bringing a lot of speed to our backfield. And, we don't spread him out and all that and shoot him up, with the passing, but he is a force to be reckoned with when we started our passing game. So,
boy, and if you can surprise guys, yeah. Sorry, George. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. We have a lot of good. Our backfield is going to be fast. There's no doubt about that. And then and those guys that I spoke about are also playing on the other side on defense. And again, all of them are not afraid to put their face in there and get dirty and make big hits and all that good stuff. So those guys that I mentioned are the ones that are going to be doing the things for us. And, of course, the other guys are going to be doing their jobs as well, man. I truly believe the team that we have this year is a well-balanced program, well-balanced team. And we're going to do some good things again, man. And I'm excited about that.
Yeah, I think anybody who's listening can tell that there's a high level of excitement and optimism out there. An 8-win season last year, and possibly more to come this year. Let's take a quick look at your schedule before we let you go, George. You open with Golden Valley, just a week 0 series that I love because I think it does a lot for both teams. It's the type of team that maybe you don't see in your own practices, and same thing goes for Golden Valley because they do spread it out and throw it a lot. And then week 1, are you at Monache or do you have them at home?
We are at Monache.
At Monache, and then back up to Porterville the following week for at Porterville High School and Exeter before you get into league play, and we know how good action the SSL is. You have a lot of games that, I mean, on paper it looks like none of them are easy wins, but all of them you can win, and that's the kind of game you like to see as a coach where boy, maybe you can just test yourselves every single week with the right level of competition.
Yeah, my thing was I wanted to get our guys. I wanted them to be exposed to different competition and all, but at the same time, I want them to be challenged. And I'm not saying the teams that we played, last year that are no longer on our schedule weren't challenging, but I want them to see something new. And how Porterville's been. Porterville's been a great football program, and we just wanted to get out of the area and go start challenging teams out in the area. And, the mission is trying to bring Taft back on the map. And, and that's what I want to do is I want to get these kids, I want to get them out of the area and go play teams and try to put things together in a positive direction for us.
George Falgout, you have me excited for Taft football at this point. I think that goes for Trevor, too.
Yeah, you got
it. Hear the passion in your voice, and we will look forward to good things from the Wildcats this year. We appreciate you taking the time to join us, and best of luck this season.
Thank you, guys, man. Thank you very much.
All right,
George.
that's
Thanks,
George
man.
Falgout of Taft. We will be right back. Who's next? Chad Brown of Centennial is next as we move back into the Southwest Yosemite League on the BVarsity Super Show right after this.